Thank you all so much for being here at Solar Punkification. We're going to be proceeding with the next part of our Sunday program, and I'm absolutely delighted to share the floor with someone without whom this exhibition would not have been possible. Because the art here will be traveling on to Germany. And that is a wonderful thing because Tom has created a unique prototype of how artists can co-imagine and can be in positive feedback loops with one another in ways that have both the compassion, the intuition augmentation, the creativity galvanization that we need as example. But before I hand over Tom to share about his incredible example in Germany, I just want to share a little bit more context about who Tom is, because Tom has gone on a journey as a designer. He has applied the engineering disciplines, the disciplines of thought and mind in an interdisciplinary way. He's redesigned the insides of how airplanes could have a trillion use cases by thinking of every component of them as a module that serves a different contextuality for community. He has gone on a journey to have the artists in Germany have all manner of self-development, peer-to-peer professional development, and community autopoiesis, because they are each fractals of what we are inspired by here. Because we are on Spaceship Earth not only in San Francisco, we are in a global community for the sake of solar punkification. Because we cannot get to a bright future without artists, and we need these humans who have hybridized design thinking, the technological and engineering fields, and the community social permaculture skills of how to draw out the underutilized super talents of all for the sake of a brighter future that is revealed when we are in right coalescence with each other. With that, I would like to extend profound gratitude for sharing this stage and handing the mic to Tom Watson.
Wow, Bobby. Thank you so much, Bobby. We've had a great 3 days, I think, here. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about the infrastructure which we're building for the solar punk future with Creative Community Studios. And I'd also like to thank you all for being with me and not the 100 other million people watching the Super Bowl. So we have a pyramid, and it always starts with people. And it's them finding a place, so turning a space into a place to realize their creative potential. And that's, in essence, going to be a blank canvas where we can all come together, rebuild the village through shared spaces and shared creative pursuits. So it's the canvas for your canvas, making your beautiful art. Or it's the place where you will have your pottery wheel and build your ceramic pots. Or it's the place where you'll rehearse as a choir. And that's exactly what we've done in Leipzig, Germany, where we turned an abandoned building into a thriving art and cultural center with 3 parts: a studio upstairs to make your dreams come true, a cafe, bar, pizza, and restaurant to bring people together, and then an event space to be used for whatever you can imagine. And we're going to talk about that a bit later in a breakout. Some photos of what it was, an abandoned building that we were able to acquire very cheaply from the city, and which over COVID, over 5 years, we've come together, we've brought the community together and broken down walls, put in windows, and turned it into now this warm place that's really used for so many things. It's really exciting what we have going on now. We have over 17,000 followers, which I guess doesn't sound so much here, but we're pretty proud of that. And this is the community coming together to build the bathrooms.
On the new episode of MTV.
You know what? We can take a look inside. Young Steve Boy will show us the place.
don't have the library right in the first section, just some people chilling around there and there. My home music studio, if you want to play some music, you can always do it like. And yeah, we have like a lot of free space here. If you want to come in, it's pretty chill around here. And I don't know, I'm having a session of my own, so please follow me. And,
So that was just a really delightful video that I was sent one day by the crew in Leipzig. So we've had at least 200 people involved in this build, doing various things, and we're now open 5-6 days a week. Today we had an art market where people are selling their art that they're making upstairs and around the local community. And we've got some ideas for another abandoned factory in Venice. Really, again, around the same ideas, but here we have much more space to be able to fill it with a place to stay as well, which is important. And larger fabrication facilities. We have these beautiful cranes where we can build some beautiful sculpture and have a sculpture park there. And here's some more examples of people coming together and working on different projects. A creative design hub for all. Yes. And so how do we do it here? This is what I'd love your help with. How do we create a creative community studio in the Bay Area? This is our rubric for activation, and we're going to focus on the first 2 steps this year. So understanding the needs, and then initiating the project. And so I'd like to ask the room to split up into 2 groups. Victoria Harrison at the back, waving, is going to help answer the question, how could you imagine using the space? And I'm going to be asking people, how could we finance it through our community? So we're going to break out into 2 groups. If I could invite you all to stand up. Vicky's at the back. If you want to answer that question, go to her. And I'm going to be at the front asking about the finance. Thank you. Any questions before we break out from anyone?
Do you imagine it being a non-profit organization or a for-profit organization?
In Germany, we have both. And we tried to run it as a non-profit first, and it didn't work. But I imagine that the ownership of the building should be put in some form of land trust that's always owned for creative pursuits. In Germany, you also have these hybrid organizations called a GBR, which is like a community company. And so we will probably run part of the garage through that, part of it through a for-profit and part through a non-profit.
And then, is it all one organization within the building, or is it like there's an ownership of the building and then you are renting spaces to different organizations within it? Or does the parent organization both own it and run the facilities?
It's the second at the moment. It's currently the owner of the building is running most things. We have a cafe that's run by a separate organization. We have the pizza being run by another organization, and the non-profits running the studio upstairs. But we want to take away that initial organization and open it up to more and more groups to use the space.
Is the question you're asking us to think about having something similar in the Bay Area, or are you asking us to think about
in the Bay Area? Yeah. Because we'd like we have access to information through libraries. We believe we need access to creative tools everywhere to further Bobby's solar punkification.
have you identified any locations yet?
Yes, there's a great building on the Fillmore. It's an old Muni electric substation opposite the police station. Would be perfect.
It's that building.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my first degree was civil engineering, so I really care about saving beautiful buildings.
What is the sort of radius from San Francisco that you see as viable?
I think every part of the Bay Area should have one of these as well.
So is the goal to sort of figure out a method that could work in the Bay Area and then could be replicated if possible?
Yeah, a way for the community to save these buildings that mean something to them and own them together, but in a sort of separate vehicle that can't be taken over by one group or another. Outside of government, outside of the private sector.
We're supposed to split up, or are we keeping the conversation open?
We could divide the room in two, so maybe from here, maybe the pink top this side, or if there's a particular preference of someone who wants to talk about the utilization,
Maybe just put it against the wall.
inputs, or content.
Yeah.
I've got a pocket for the post-its and a pencil case for the pens. A pocket for the post-its.
Not cozy for
I think it's right there. I don't think it matters. Hello.
See, this is not
Sorry. I tricked you. I tricked you.
clear.
So,
But I'll roll with it, I guess.
right.
How are you? This is my friend Cecilia.
Hi, Cecilia. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So, financing. And in Germany, we did it. We were lucky. We bought the building very cheaply from the city. But maybe the Mooney building in the Fillmore, we could be donated to us. Or,
Can I offer an idea that I explored a little bit? This golf course, purchasing a golf course, are actually quite affordable. We did one in Leipzig for $1.7 million.
wow, with lots of land.
120 acres and liquor license, a restaurant, a storefront, electric vehicle fleet. You know,
Perfect.
all these things that come with it. It's embedded infrastructure that would be enormously expensive. And it's a relatively low price tag for the possibilities. Like, it wouldn't be terribly hard to raise that much money for what you can do.
Space.
Revenue
Yeah.
streams and how much you can serve. And
Could still use it
very
for partly
flexible.
sports.
You could, I mean, you could
as
have
well.
a venue, you could have places for agriculture, you could have multiple buildings and all kinds of different services for the arts and large scale.
That's great. I'm going to get some post-it notes to start writing some stuff down.
In Lake County, there's a golf course.
We handled the discussion. We split into two groups and we...
Yeah, with Vicky, she's going to be writing stuff down with post-it notes, and I'm going to be
Answer questions?
answer some questions. Yeah, or I can answer some questions.
I'm wondering, how does what you're building differ from a hackerspace?
Total waste.
It's based, I think, on hackerspace. I did some research looking at hackerspaces.
Are you familiar with Noisebridge?
Yeah, I went and did some research there.
Need to be something.
Light pieces do you
That's why I probably need
Of course. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because then I can. No, I'm just like over the top, changing people. Yeah, it makes total sense. So what? If we can sit down, then I can kind of see everybody. Feel free to grab those chairs. Yeah. Ask everybody else to sit down. I want the camera to be high. And then I would ask
It's really weird. Sitting here.
So your microphone.
Oh, we're gonna need it again because Bobby wants to record them.
Oh, right. Okay. I'll put it back.
Yeah, if you can, I'll get it.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to buy a golf ball.